one of my roommates just lost his key for his locker. So pro tip, only ever use one of these guys and take a picture of your combination so you don't forget. So I had a couple of meetings today with different professors and universities, so I actually spent the better half of today in the UCD, University College Dublin library, getting work done. So today's gonna be a fun day. Yesterday I just met with professors and spent, I don't know, 6 hours in one of the university libraries just getting work done. So today I'm gonna go out, explore the city a little bit. There are 2 different yarn stores I want to go to. I need to buy some yarn because there's a knitting club meeting this afternoon. Well, tonight really, it starts at 6. So I need yarn. So that I'm not a total imposter. I'm not really sure if this is meant for water, but it looks like it could be. Drinkable water? I'm going with it. So I just went to a knitting store and bought some yarn, and the proprietor was so nice. She gave me a book because I was telling her about my project, and it was all about the history of the Aran knitting. Oh my god, I wish people are so nice. So I'm just walking along this cool little river, and there's lots of joggers and wind and walkers and bikers, but I don't know, it's really nice. I have no idea where I'm going, I'm just kind of wandering. So yesterday was a really fun day. It was very cool. I started off and I went to some yarn stores, and this is what I got. So these 3 are all pure wool. I mean, you can see Studio Donegal, that. That's very Irish. And then I also got those 2, which are alpaca. And the woman was so nice. I was telling her about my project, and she just gave me this book about Irish Aran traditional fashion, history, etc., which I talked about in one of my on the road clips. But that was really, really fun. That was very cool. And the yarn is just really nice. And I was kind of surprised it was reasonably priced. This alpaca, it's natural, so it's not dyed, so it's a little cheaper than regular alpaca, but it was 10 euros. And I bought less yarn than this of pure alpaca. It was dyed red in Peru though, for 60 soles, which is, I don't know, $17 or something. So the fact that it was that much more expensive in Peru, where Peru's supposed to be cheap. So I either got scammed in Peru or just this yarn shop is really good. I'm leaning towards the yarn shop is really good. And then I also knit this at a knitting group. I went to a knitting group in a pub and we all chatted, and they told me some really cool things to check out related to knitting, and I knit that. I'm gonna make something fun you guys don't get to know yet. But yeah, in between those 2 things, the yarn shop and the knitting club, I went to the Fulbright headquarters. I'll put a little picture of it here. And I met I met one of the people who works there, and we've been emailing back and forth and doing a lot of the logistical stuff. She was so nice. We ended up, I didn't think the meeting would be very long. I thought we'd say hi, chat for half an hour, and then I'd leave. We stayed for an hour and a half, and I literally only left because I was going to be late for the knitting club, which I was 15 minutes late because my bus got late. But she was so fun. We talked about like traveling, and obviously we talked about my project and what I'm doing, and she was like, is there anything I can help you with? And I was telling her about my like student cards being lost, and I was like, can I ship them here if I can get the company to send me new ones? And she's like, yes, yes, of course. She was great. It's also kind of nice because I feel like this whole time I've like not really had a support group the way that most Fulbrighters do. Like if you do Fulbright and you have like a master's program you're doing or something, usually you are with a group of people or you're like in an institution. I'm just kind of on my own. Like I've got some people that I've connected with, through email, and I'm like meeting them, and that's kind of it. So it was nice that there was the Fulbright, that she was there, and it felt kind of like, a support group. Like if I had a problem, I could come to her. So that was really nice. Oh, and she fed me coffee and cookies, and that was the first coffee I've had all week because I can't get hot water here. So that was lovely. So I thought I would show you what give you a little room tour, but of my bunk in the dorm. So let me show you the dorm first. Got 2 bunks there, 2 more here, 2 more there, 2 more there, and then there's a sink in the back. This one is mine. So down there is my storage for my luggage, and generally the lock is on it, but right now I've taken stuff out. So, and at night I leave my towel, my washcloth, and then my shower stuff here to dry. And then on the bunk there's my jacket. The really interesting stuff is up here. I don't know if it's interesting. It's kind of the only stuff. So we've got a plug there. Right now I've got this for my phone, and then my watch is plugged in right there. Got a Cliff Bar for a snack. These are like Band-Aids and Neosporin for my blisters of my heels. Water bottle, because of course. We've got the book about the Irish air knitting that the really nice lady gave me yesterday. These are my earbuds, and then we have the key to get in and out in case I need to go to the bathroom or something at night, and then my eye mask. So there's no one in here right now, so I think I'm gonna plug in this fan. It's like right here. Luckily our window's open, but it does not do enough. There's 7 boys in here and me, and it smells so bad. I've been baited. This thing doesn't even work. It doesn't stand on its own. And the buttons don't do anything. So I've discovered that sleeping with 7 other people in a room, it makes for not great sleep because people were coming in and out at all hours of the night. There was one dude who at 2 a.m. he got up 4 times to move his stuff around. I don't know what he was doing, but it was excessive and annoying. Yeah, so I haven't had a good night's sleep really since I got here. I had a good nap on my first day because there's no one really here. But I've also noticed though that since I'm staying here a week, I kind of feel the first few days I kind of felt oh, I shouldn't be here, this isn't, my home or whatever. I'm just staying here or whatever. But now that I've been here a few days, and knowing that each place I'm going to I'll be there for a week, I kind of feel these are my places now. I feel more, I don't know how to describe it. Not really at home, because it's not as comfortable as living at home, right? It's still kind of stressful living with other people. But I feel more oh, this is where I'm supposed to be, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you saw my first vlog, you saw that the hostel I'm in doesn't have a kitchen, so I've been eating peanut butter and jellies. So this is the setup. I'm making on my little box here, and I have my camping spork that serves as my spreading knife. And then I also have this, which is a collapsible mug, and I put my sugar and creamer in there. And then I also carry a little packet of coffee, instant coffee. So if I ever come across hot water, I'll be set. So it's Friday, about 1 o'clock. I'm going to head out. I've got my backpack with me. got my knitting and the book that that lady gave me about the air and knitting. So knitting and knitting. And my PB&J sandwich. So I think I'm going to go to St. Stephen's Green, which is one of the like really historical and apparently fancy parks. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll see. I figured I would eat my lunch, maybe do a little knitting, maybe do a little reading. We'll see. If it starts raining, which being Ireland, it probably will. I mean, I'm wearing a rain jacket, right? I can't really read or knit. I can eat, but that's it. At which point I'll just find something else to do. So yeah, actually first though, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and buy some fruit because after a week of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Cliff Bars, I need some fruit. So I went to this nice little park and everything was great. It was sunny out. I was eating my little pain au chocolat and then it started raining because it's Ireland. And then I was walking around Dublin just wandering and I stumbled across these street performers that just happened to be Key West, the band. So that was pretty cool. I will always be right here to hold your hand when it's darkest, when you're all alone. I will be that shining light to guide you home. 'Cause it's the little things, I swear, the way you sing when you dry your hair. It's the little things we share. So as mediocre as this hostel has been, there have been interesting people. I just met somebody who is like an MMA fighter, and he's here because one of his teammates is like part of the Bellator MMA fight in Dublin. I don't know, apparently it's a big thing. It's like that. He's not either of these guys. These are like the headliners, and his team isn't a headliner, but they're part of it. He was real proud. And then he was like, I don't know, he's from Italy, and so like there was a bit of a language barrier there, but he was saying that his teammate who's fighting tonight like worked or knew or something Colin McGregor, who I don't know who that is, but I looked him up and he's like some famous fighter guy. And I was like, I don't really know why this is relevant. Like, you don't know him, I don't know him. What? Your friend knows this other guy? Like, it's just an odd flex, I guess. Odd flex, but okay. So I'm trying to go to the president's house today. If I go to the Phoenix Park Visitor Center at like 9:30, they have like free tickets for a tour, and it's like a first come first served basis. So my plan was to get there at 9:30, but I like didn't want to get out of bed. I was so cozy and I was sleeping so good. So I got up late, and then instead of taking half an hour like Google Maps told me it would with the bus and the walking, it took closer to an hour to get here. So I'm hoping they still have tickets. If not, I mean, Phoenix Park is big and nice, so I'll just hang out here, I guess. So I got to go to the president's house. I had no reason to worry. Literally, the lady at the visitor center had like a fat stack of the tickets. But she's like, if you hurry, you can make the 10 o'clock one. And I hurried and I made the 10 o'clock one, which was nice because the next one was at 11:15, so they're like every hour and 15. But I would have just chilled in the park if I had to wait. And it probably would have been better if I had to do that because I didn't eat my Cliff Bar for breakfast beforehand. And so throughout the tour, as we're walking through this big fancy house, my stomach was growling. So I just went and ate my Cliff Bar in the park now. But yeah, the tour was really cool. Didn't meet the president, didn't expect to. We weren't allowed to like film or take pictures or anything inside the house, so I just have the little bit of the front and then a lot of the gardens. We saw some really pretty flowers. Like, wow, their gardens are nice. And then we also went into their like greenhouse thing, which I thought was really cool, and it was really warm in there. They had no like form of heating or anything. It was all just because of the glass. And yeah, it was very interesting. There were a lot of trees planted by famous people, so like Queen Victoria and former US President Barack Obama and then current US President Biden, and like that was kind of interesting. They had plaques, and so you could see what like famous people had been there and planted a tree. But then yeah, as I was leaving, we were walking back through the visitor center, and there are these like cafes with really good looking desserts, and so it's like, oh, I kind of want one. Not kind of like I really want one, but maybe I'm just hungry. So I went and ate the Cliff Bar, and because I still want one, I'm going back. My grandma gave me some money for my like adventuring, as she calls it, so I'm calling it my fun money, and I'm gonna use that to buy a pastry and maybe some coffee. So thanks, Grandma. I love you. I spent my afternoon eating my pastry and drinking my coffee and lounging in the grass. It was great. I loved Phoenix Park. And then when I went back to my hostel, there was a rugby match playing literally right outside of the hostel. So I have a fun little story that gives you an idea of what hostel life is like. My finger has a little band-aid on it, and it's literally just because I got a chestnut spine stuck in it, like those like spiky balls that surround chestnuts. I was picking them up with my family like back on the farm like a week ago. I got a bunch stuck in my hand. One got infected like on the very tip of the finger. And I was like, well, I'm just not going to deal with it because I don't want to, and hopefully it will take care of itself. Spoiler, it did not. And I already told my friend Candace this, so Candace, if you're watching, which I know you are, just skip ahead. But so I went out with a couple of girls last night, and we were having fun. It was great. We went to a pub. We watched the Rugby World Cup, a match. In a pub, we went to another pub. It was great. What? I like that we're all like, this is pretty. It's just so pretty. We come back and there's a bar in our hostel, so we're like, maybe we'll get some Irish coffees and like play cards. But when we get over there, I'm like, oh God, my finger really hurts. Maybe I'll just have a tequila shot and then like dig it out with a needle, right? And so then one of my friends, she's a nurse tech, so she's like, I have slightly more experience than you in this situation. So I have the tequila shot. We come up here, and she's like giving me advice, right? But so I have this needle from my little tiny sewing kit that I got in Argentina. It has no point on it. It's horrible. And then I have tweezers that came from my Swiss Army knife. I needed to clean them, right? And so I had mentioned in passing as we were like leaving before we went out that I needed a lighter. And this other random guy that was in our room, he was like, oh, I have 3, just take one. He thought I was like smoking or something. I was like, oh, dope, thanks. So I use it to sterilize both the needle and the tweezers, right? I don't know where that needle's been, right? And so I've got the sterilized needle, I'm like digging in my finger, and I can't do it. I can't get it. I'm like cringing every time I do it. It's horrible. So my friend takes over and she's digging in it. And then she has to get our other friend to go get toilet paper from the bathroom because it's like oozing. And I'm like, bracing against the sink over here. Because the light was good over there. And she's like sopping up all of this goo. I'm like not looking at it, but I'm like, did you get it? Is it out? And she's not telling me, right? Like she knows, like saying no is worse than saying nothing. It takes like 5 minutes. She finally gets it out. It doesn't feel any different, obviously, but I personally, like emotionally feel better. And she's like, okay, you definitely need to go wash your hands. So I wash my hands and put on the antibiotic ointment and whatever. But I felt so good that it was out of there. And so I like bandaged it up, and it feels so much better today. Like I wasn't able to type yesterday because it was like, I don't want to say it was like bubbling up, but it was like the end of my finger was like increasing in size. um, and so she fixed that, and that was great. And so, yeah, if you had been in this dorm at like 1 a.m. last night, you would have seen three girls crowded around the sink, one sticking a needle on the other girl's finger, and all of them like slightly panicking. So I'm in the Botanical Gardens now. This morning I went to a knitting club. It was a different one from my Wednesday knitting club that I went to this week, but it was still really fun. And you know, it was different women, different projects. We talked a lot. I got to know a bit more about like Irish knitting culture. Anyway, so I'm like at the Botanical Gardens now, and it's really gorgeous. I mean, the flowers are just popping. But it's also starting to feel like it's gonna storm, so I think I'm gonna head back now. A nice botanical gardens though, and it was free. I mean, like the museums are free here, botanical gardens is free. There's a lot of like free stuff to do in Dublin. It's great.
Hello, sir. Do you want to come say hi? You're so cute. Hi. Nope, we're taking a nap in a tree. Okay.
I'm Anne in Ireland, and you've been watching my first week as a Fulbright student in Ireland. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.